Hey guys, what's going on? How the heck are you today? Hope you're having a good day. Um, it's been a while, I know. I'm sorry, apologize. Um, I've been trying to make a video, and I've actually attempted to make several videos, and there's always been something come up. Mostly just with the weather. It's been very cold, or rainy, so you kind of don't have much content whenever you're in more of an outdoor type channel like me. It's hard to make a video whenever it's raining. But I'm under my basement, or I'm in my basement. I'm under my house. And today is a video that I actually did record, but it got cut short. But kind of quick. It is a review of the Lancer Tactical M82A1 Barrett Sniper Airsoft Rifle. A little bit on the gun. I think there's a brand, Galaxy. They had their own guns, but I think they went out of business. So the gun is made by Lancer Tactical. The gun comes in a few different packages. Comes with a bipod. I did not buy the bipod version. This is actually my brother's bipod. I just used it for this. If you order the bipod version, it does come with a Barrett style bipod with all the holes and the clamp style bipod. This gun is 55 inches long. A real Barrett is 57, so it's very, very close. As you can see, I've done a little bit of my own stickers. I've made stickers and stuff for it. Whenever you order the gun, that piece right here, this is the barrel, and this is a little sleeve. This is orange, and the tip from here up, this little triangle piece is orange. From here back is black. But I went ahead and painted it. There's a screw right there. If you take that out, then you can twist the barrel and pull the barrel out. A lot of people give this gun crap because they say to adjust the hop up that you have to take the barrel out, make the adjustment, and then slide the barrel back in. But really, you don't have to do that. If you read the review, if you watch reviews on this gun and that takes you away from buying this gun, don't listen to it. It's still somewhat kind of difficult, but you don't have to take the barrel out, adjust it, and put it all back together. You don't have to do that. Pros about this gun, look at it. I mean, it's a Barrett. I mean, in every sense of the word, other than the 2-inch length difference, this is a Barrett. But the version, there's a bipod version with no scope, and then there's a scope version with a bipod. This version, just the gun, I got just the gun, the jamming rod, magazine, speed loader, was right at $100, and you can get the bipod version for $110 or $115, I think, and the bipod and scope is like $140. This was on sale for the $100. If you order the thing and it's not on sale, I think just the gun is like $100, $110. And the scope and bipod not on sale is like $150. But I knew I had a scope, or I just wanted to get a different scope for it. This is actually the scope from my pellet rifle. I couldn't afford the scope just yet, but Pros, it's solid polymer. It's not cheap plastic. It's actually made well. The barrel's aluminum. The inner barrel's aluminum. The gear mechanism in the trigger system is metal. It's very realistic. It's got the clips that come out just like a Barrett does. This pin comes out. This pin and this pin can come out too to take the butt pad off. But I'm going to go ahead and put you up in the clamp pot, and let's see if I can get a better angle. Alright, I'm going to try my best here to the spring, or the hop up part that they say that you have to have the barrel out to adjust. That's not true. You take this clip right here, you take that clip out, and then there's a clip right here. It's a big one. You take it out. It's big, and then once you do that, just like the real Barrett, the top, you can slide it back and then up, and that's your part of your rail, your scope. Set that to the side. I ordered a upgraded spring with mine, but I believe it made too much blowback for the piston to go around. I believe it had the piston isn't good enough for this spring. This is a 145 or 155 spring. I think it's a 145 for like the 470 or something like that feet per second. But all these videos are only videos I've ever really seen about it, just explain the gun itself and not the internals. It is an AEG spring style, but it has a sniper piston. And you never really see videos on how to disassemble this gun. But the hop up part, go ahead and take my magazine out. The magazine is pretty big. It's probably 4.5, 5 inches long, 4 tall. It's got a little compartment here. I know you see this in all the other videos. A lot of people I saw were talking about this. I'll explain stuff about the magazine later. But the hop up, this is pretty much your charging handle. Whenever you pull it back, if you look now, whenever I pull it back, you'll see that right there, and then that little gap. This is the end of the barrel, and that little brass spot piece right there, that is the hop up adjustment. All you do is you have your magazine in, you pull it back once to load the gun, and you hold it, and then you adjust your hop up clockwise for more hop up, counterclockwise for less hop up, and then you close that up. You take your shot and watch the BB, and you can just bore it down, put your shoulder up like this, bore shoot it, and watch the BB whether it flies straight up or down. And then once you just bore shoot it a few times and get the trajectory of the BB the way you want it to fly as far as possible before it goes down or up. But that's the hop up. You don't have to take the barrel out a bunch of times, because you have to put the barrel in sideways and then slide it. And getting the barrel, it's not hard, but doing it a bunch of times, it would get a little monotonous and tedious. But the disassembly of this gun is super stupid easy. Let's let's see. This is, how do I get a better angle of that? There's a little block right here, and this is kind of in a little recessed spot. All you do to take this whole assembly out, from the spring guide to the spring for the chamber and the piston, take all that stuff out, slide this block forward, it'll stop, and then you just lift it up, and then the whole thing will come out. I'm just going to show you. That's what you do. You can't really, you can see that orange tip. Let me see, maybe I can lower the camera a little bit and give a better angle. I'm trying, guys. I just got very limited space. Let's see. There we go. That's a little bit better. This gun is just massive, so it's kind of hard to get what you need in the frame, because the barrel is big. But hold it back here, slide that forward, and then lift it up, and then all of this, except for this spring will not come off. It's held in place. This is the stock spring. This is the spring guide. I have not seen a spring guide like this on the market, so I don't really know if you could buy a replacement, but this top piece is solid, and this bottom piece from there, this bottom piece is hollow, but it's thick. It's very heavy duty. And like I said, this is the bottom of the clip. It's got a groove. It's got a groove shape so that it slides into this notch right here. Go ahead and show you the piston. This is the piston of the sniper. It's plastic, and I think that this is allowing air to escape from the stronger spring. So if you get a 145 spring, I would suggest just go ahead and buying a sniper piston too. They're like 20 bucks, 25 bucks for an aluminum one. But it's just as easy to put it all back together, get it in place, and get that in place, slide the spring on, and push it all into place, and then drop it down into the groove and let it go back, and then there you go, it's back together. Putting a spring in this gun is stupid easy. And I kind of use this back space right here. There's 5 or 6 inches of space. I hold the spring in there just in case if something happens. This spring for some reason breaks or fails, I can take the top off and put this spring back in, put the better spring in it. It would have blow by, but I mean the spring would work at least. Hopefully before too long I'm going to buy a upgraded piston for it so I can put the faster spring in it. But one thing about this magazine that I hear a bunch of people say is that you can't load more than like 20 BBs, 15 or 20 BBs in it before it starts to shoot them back out of the end. And the only thing I could say to that is they are probably keeping the magazine in the rifle while they let it sit. And that's not good, because there's a little spring right there, and there's a little wedge shape that holds the BBs in. You can see the little wedge right there that spring's connected to. Well, whenever the magazine is in the gun, there's a little tube. I might be able to show you. That little lip right there, that's a lip. It pushes that wedge down and allows the BBs to move freely, and whenever you pop the magazine out, the spring pushes this clip back forward and closes the BB hole back up so the BBs can't just come out. If you leave this magazine in this gun, this spring wears down from being compressed all the time, and it will not have enough force to push up into the BBs to keep that wedge from letting the BBs come out. That, or the wedge itself gets worn down from steady use, but if that's the case, then the magazines are like $10, $15, something like that. I think maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. I don't really remember. But what I'm thinking it is this spring right here wears down, and this wedge can't push into the BB, so they just come out. But I've had this gun for a few weeks now. I wanted to kind of test it a little bit and get an overall idea of how well it works, and I love this. It's a very, very good gun. It's more of a look type rifle than anything. It's labeled for 400 to 420 feet per second, or 420 to 430, something like that. And for the most part, the videos I've watched where they chronograph them, they are in that 420 feet per second range. There's a few that shoot like 380, 390, and I think that might just be from your country regulations or whatever. I know in Canada, a gun, like a pellet gun, can't have a certain feet per second, or it's considered a weapon or whatever. They have a regulation on them, so maybe that's what's going on over there, because all the ones that shoot really low, I've only seen one or two that shoots really, really slow, and they ordered off of either one was a British website and one was a European site of some sort, or Russian or something. I don't know for sure, but it wasn't an American site. This one seems to shoot very, very strong. The con of this is a pretty big one. If you don't want to like change a little tiny bit to this gun, is the rail is a little smaller than what stock, or than what the Weaver mounts are. So I don't know if you can see that, but I have tape on the mount at the bottom underneath the hook, and the scope scoots a little bit. I'm going to take hot glue and run a bead underneath it with hot glue so that it grabs the hot glue. But this does wiggle. If you didn't have tape, it would wiggle back and forth and probably wouldn't even stay on. That's really the only negative of this gun that I can think about, or that I know of. I personally love this gun. I like how Barrett's look, for one, and I just think this gun performs well. It's never given me any major issues, or well, really any issues at all. I've only had it for a few weeks, but you know, it still is doing good. I like it. I can't get this last pin in. I think my spring's causing some sort of a mess up in it. There it is. There we go. Also, this has nothing to do with this rifle. I figured since I have the Barrett 50 caliber 50 BMG, I might as well go for the other biggest style gun known to man and woman and children. And I got a Desert Eagle airsoft. This is a spring. This is not the CO2 version. It says Desert Eagle Pistol Magnum Research Inc. Pillager, Minnesota, USA. It's got the symbol, and it says Magnum Research Inc. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Everything, the fire safety. This doesn't work. I don't know exactly what. If it's a slide stop, it don't work. But this gun comes apart just like a 50 or a Desert Eagle. You normally push this button in and slide this down, but with this one you take that screw out and then it slides down, it pivots, and then you can take the whole upper off. I took the upper off and then painted the barrel and the slide black. It was kind of a smoky clear. So I got this at Dunham's. It is a, I guess you call it a high cap. You fill the back of the magazine with BBs. You lower this down, it opens up the hole, and then you shake the BBs in. It looks and it acts just like, and it has hop up too right there, but it works just like a real Desert Eagle. And the trigger and the hammer work without it being cocked. You can pull the trigger back, or the hammer back, just for looks. If you want to kind of make it a prop, it works like that, because you see all the people that are holding the guns in the movies, and then the person's like, I'm not telling you anything, and they go click click, and they're like, okay, I'll tell you whatever you want to know. It works for that. It's pretty hard, unless you want to buy an actual 50 holster. It's hard to find a holster that'll fit the gun. I have this one from Crossman, I believe. I had to cut the little rubber, the Velcro strap that goes over, and then I cut about 1 inch of the sewn down here so that I can squeeze the gun. It pops up the bottom, but hey, it just has to hold it. It don't have to really do a whole lot. Plus, I can, if I have to, I can shoot the gun from the holster. Just in case something gets stuck and I go to pull it out and it comes off or something. As long as I can get my trigger finger in there, I could still shoot the gun. But whenever it's sheathed up, it covers the trigger. But do I recommend this gun? Yes, I really do. I think going and putting a layer of glue underneath the rail, I just don't think that's at all big enough to want to not buy this gun. The hop up issue is not that bad. You can adjust the hop up and you don't have to have the scope on it to shoot it and see if it's flying straight. You just bore shoot it with the top off, and you can get the hop up pretty close to where you want it. It's worth the money. It's very fun. It just has that mean look. People would probably be scared of people would be scared of it just by looking at it. If you go walking onto a field with your group and you have this gun, people are gonna be scared of you. They're gonna be on alert all the time, looking for you to get you out of the game. It's very, from what I can tell, easily upgradable with the spring, the piston. The trigger mechanism is metal. It's kind of a shear trigger mechanism. You can't just, it's a different trigger than I've seen. But it's metal. I don't really know what kind of metal, but it is. But it's not plastic or anything like that, so it will be more easily. It can handle heavier springs easier. So all you would need to do is pretty much get you a piston and a AEG spring, a sniper piston and an AEG spring, and you should be good to go. They also sell barrels. You could get big barrels for this gun, or the inner barrels. I was thinking about buying another barrel if I could find one without having to buy a whole nother gun, and cutting it short a few inches, like 6 or 7 inches, to make it a shorter gun. The barrel in this actual inner barrel ends about right here anyway, so I might do something like that. Still don't know for sure, but that's my review on the Lancer Tactical LT. It's called the LT20. This is the black version. They come in tan, where everything is tan, and I like the tan, but I just didn't want everything to be tan. I wanted a black barrel and a black magazine. I could have ordered a magazine and had a black one with it, but I wanted a black barrel, and painting it can scrape it, and it can be scraped up, and I just want something that's a little bit stronger. And I might paint stuff tan. I figured it'd be easier painting something, and I didn't want to have to paint the barrel, because the barrel is one of the first things to get scratched, so I wanted to have a black barrel. But the lt20b for black, and then they've got the lt20t for tan. They got the BIP for bipod. But very good gun. I highly recommend it. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here, guys. I hope you liked it. Sorry for the longer video. I wanted to get in depth with it and show that, you know, what people say isn't exactly always true. I mean, it's a good gun. I highly recommend it. Hopefully soon I can make some videos with it. That's going to be it, and I will see you in the next one.